Vitality era is upon us because they just won their 5th tournament in a row, and they also have won their 25th series in a row. That means they've gone 25 best of 3s or best of 5s in a row, and they have not lost a single one. So today we're going to cover the final that they played versus Falcons at Blast Rivals, and we're going to make some references back to the final they played last week in IEM Melbourne, but mostly I want to talk about this one at Rivals because I think it's the most impressive one out of all of them since they had no time to recover in between events, and I want to talk about why this team is dominating everybody else in the scene, but we'll get to that right after a quick word from our sponsor.
Today's video is sponsored by Skin Club. Now you must be over 18 before you play on the site, but if you are and you do decide to play, Skin Club is a site that has over 100 cases that you can choose to unbox. Now you can either unbox them individually like we're doing on screen now, or if that's not your thing, you can actually put a bunch of cases into a case battle and play versus another player where the winner gets to keep everything that was unboxed during the battle, and when it's all said and done, you can use the upgrader to take the skins that you got that you're not the biggest fan of and see if you can maybe get away with something better, and then once you finish, you can actually withdraw any skin that you've won right onto your Steam account. If you decide to check out the site, make sure you guys use my link for a 7% deposit bonus. Just make sure that you play responsibly, and let's get right back into the video.
This Vitality team is a ton of fun to watch, but I want to kind of talk about why that is, and it's because they have individuals that shine so bright, but their team play is also surprisingly strong if you look below the surface, because at surface value, we have high fragging potential from Robs. Obviously, we have ZywOo, who is probably the greatest player of all time at this point, and we also have Flames, we have Mezzi, and Apex is not even a bad fragging IGL, and his, there's just so much more than what's on the surface for this team. Now, we are going to watch a couple of maps from this best of 5 today, but we're going to start by talking about ZywOo, and obviously he is their carry. He is somebody that's going to bail you out of the round. He's somebody who's going to win you the round. But here's a really good example of a round where ZywOo bails them out. Obviously, just winning the pistol round, you do want to make sure that you're going to be converting into this force buy so you can get the dream start. Here we have Robs going 0 for 1, which is actually pretty rare for him, but then we have the supporting crew coming in. Mezzi's going to get 1 before he gets traded. Apex gets the kill with his nade before he's also going to get in here and try to fight. Now, once he goes down, you think that the round is over. You might be looking to save, but ZywOo is going to come in here and he somehow catches this timing to drop into the back of sight, and then he's going to be able to work together with Flames to secure this second round. Even though things got a little bit scary and it is a tense 1v1 at the end, this is exactly what I'm talking about. You do have the high fragging clutch potential of ZywOo to bail you out if anything goes wrong, and then of course having him clutch on a round like round 2 is just going to set you up early game. But he doesn't even need to clutch in the early game. He can clutch in the late game. He can clutch in a crazy comeback like he did at Melbourne. I mean, that 1v3 that he had on Nuke is just absolutely outrageous, but it doesn't matter because he's going to play the same in every situation. You can always rely on him. Now, with that being said, that doesn't mean that it's just the ZywOo show like it used to be years ago, because now you also have somebody else on the team that you can rely on as a star player, which is Rops. So in this particular round, we can talk about how ZywOo and Rops are going to play around each other because they're actually playing on the opposite sides of the map. And you have to remember that from their perspective, that is the Falcons, they have to go either A into ZywOo or B into Rops, and neither of those sound like fun. Now, even though this is an eco, the idea still stands, it's still not going to be fun. And in this particular round, Apex is actually going to call the rest of the guys in mid. So Flames, Mezzi, Apex are going to work mid on the slow buy, and if they try to go out long or out B, well, Rops and ZywOo will handle them, right? It's not a bad idea to start. You also have Flames, who's another star player on your team who can walk up mid here with this AK, and you actually see the round is pretty well designed. I actually really like it. Once they spot m0NESY, though, they know that that's the Opper, obviously. But what happens if the Opper is boosted mid? Well, it means that they're not doing anything fast. They don't have enough people to just go out on a site. The bomb is most likely not with them. And so that means that ZywOo can actually reposition off of this. Mezzi will die, but ZywOo can actually reposition here, and Mezzi will get traded by NiKo. Very important, because now you can have the smarter player, I don't know how to explain it, a very cerebral player who is Rops. He realizes, well, if NiKo's there and somebody's throwing utility at me tunnels, it means that they're probably going to have to re-clear mid. There's not actually any threat of them coming out tunnels right now. Now, right now, in this particular instance, he's playing against TeSeS, who is a lurker, and Rops is a lurker, so he knows the idea here. He's toying with them. He knows what he needs to do. He's got to this left side, and there's actually something really funny that happens here, which is that TeSeS throws a lurk smoke, just trying to, keep that pressure, keep all the rotates looking at B so they can go up cat. It's just standard dust too. But because Rops also plays his role, he just gets in front of it. He's not afraid. It is a low buy. There's no reason to be afraid. And once he spots nobody in tunnels, Well, now they know it's going to be A. And you don't have a lot of players that make these kinds of plays, and you see what I'm saying. By having Robs and ZywOo on the opposite sides of the map, you're really never safe, because even by the time this hit comes in, well, it's already too late because Robs is here. And so is the rest of the team because they got the info. And you still have to deal with the fact that ZywOo is alive, and pretty soon you're in a 1v3 and you have to kill both of these players. And even though it's a low buy, there's not really anything you can do. So that's the kind of idea with how Vitality is functioning. They have ZywOo and Robs playing on the opposite side of each other, at least on CT sides most of the time. And then on T sides, you'll also see this. We'll talk about this more on Nuke, but I think this is a pretty fun round to talk about. Just for fun, here's another round that explains this really well. We have a really late long split here, and Mezii is going to get his one before ZywOo is going to be, playing for his one and done, but it's just too much pressure, and unfortunately, there's nothing that they can do. NiKo is going to find Apex and then ZywOo. And you think that at this point, you've done all you need to do, but unfortunately, you still have to play around the fact that Robs is alive, and he's gone for the long flank, and, well, you see, he's already got the kill, and Mezii got the other two, so you're never really safe in this round. Robs is a very active CT player, and he's also a very active T player, so you just have to always be on the lookout, because even dealing with ZywOo, it's not enough anymore. So let me show you the POV of playing against Vitality here. So NiKo obviously wants to get active. He's had a pretty decent start to this game. He's going to spot ZywOo here, and he's going to die to him. Now, we know ZywOo's opping A, so maybe we have a chance to walk out mid here. That's what they're going to call. Kixin thinks maybe if we go mid to B here, we have a decent shot at winning the round. Unfortunately, though, Apex has called the perfect mid setup because he's got Mezii baited for in the corner. Once he gets smoked off here, he's going to make a little bit of noise at some point trying to bait the fact that Mezii is close, and well, it's actually going to work like a charm because Magisk is going to walk right into Mezii. Apex is actually very, very smart at what he does, and now you have to come into B on Robs. And it's, again, you know he's just going to get his no matter what happens. And actually, by the time the hit comes in, the rotates are all in, and there's really no way for them to win this round. Robs is going to get his. Apex is going to help him out. And look at the flash as well. I mean, everything is just going super well. This is the average Vitality round. This is a perfect round when everything goes according to plan, and you don't need any backup. Now, you might think that everything that I'm saying about Vitality is, well, obviously, Austin, if you have a team, that's what they're going to do. But I don't think you understand how insane this is. For example, here's a round where Apex goes down to a full running Kixin. He's also full blind, but this is where you have to be very precise because any mistake that you make, any overpeak that you make will be punished. We're talking about ZywOo here. He does not miss. You skip one step, you're dead. Now, off of the back of Kixin giving back his life, they're going to get into a pretty strong bait setup here where Flames is going to come into the car here and he's going to let ZywOo bait for him. Now here's the part where I think they might get a little silly. m0NESY spots out ZywOo, and now what do you do from here? m0NESY hold car, somebody molly it, right? Somebody molly it, they force him into m0NESY. All you have to do is do that, and for some reason, they've given ZywOo another chance, and he doesn't just kill one, he actually collats the second. So again, you're getting punished here. Here's the molly finally, he smokes for himself. But again, this was all just so that Flames could get baited for. And by the way, if you think that this is just a Falcons misplay, it is. But against any other team, they would probably still be okay. But Vitality has all of these plans, and because ZywOo quite literally never misses, if you give him a chance, he's gonna take it. And look at this, look how close that was to hitting. Actually, did that hit? I don't even know. Did he actually just leg him there? Either way, all this was a plan. Magisk thinks he has the timing because ZywOo just shot. Unfortunately not. That's where Flames is waiting for him. And all this is to say, like, you see everything is pretty clear here. There is nothing you can do. And by skipping steps and trying to go too fast, you will lose games because of this. You will lose rounds because of this. Their individuals do not give you any room to play with. So with keeping all of that in mind, then how are we going to approach a T side? Well, at least in this particular round, I really enjoy the call. You need to get your star players active. It's the first gun round. You've lost 3 in a row. We need to get rolling on the T side. So what does Apex call? He says, you know what? ZywOo, I need you to bait me. And you see here, he knows that ZywOo is right behind him. If Apex gets the kill, fantastic. If he doesn't, he knows that ZywOo will trade him. Now, taking this concept and applying it to Robs now, Robs can go in towards lower with Flames, and it's arguably stronger because Flames is more likely to get an entry than Apex, at least in my opinion. And if he doesn't, Robs will trade him. Like, that's the idea going into the round here. It's almost a guarantee, at least from Apex's POV. I mean, I have the best players in the world. Surely we can get into this round. And here you go. Apex is going to get the kill, and now they're going to crunch in towards lower. Unfortunately, the play for Falcons is pretty strong. Kixin will take down both of them, and Apex will get full blind off the back of this. But unfortunately for Falcons, ZywOo does not, and he will save Apex's life because he was getting baited for, and now he can start to run up Cat, punishes another person. But the round's not over yet because the bomb is in T-spawn, and it could still get a little bit scary. Just kidding, because Mezzi's also still in the round, and now it's a 3v1. And it's over. The round is over. And this is a round that it's really, there's no strategy in this one that's too deep. It's actually just, hey, follow me and let's get the kills. It's leading by example. It's really something that you can rely on. You can have the really complicated strats later on, which we're getting to soon. Or you can have rounds like this where you just call around your star players and then you win the round. Now here's a call that I really enjoy from Apex. You can actually steal this one and call it in your pugs, and you can be like the #1 team in the world's IGL. What he's done here is he's actually smoked mid doors for himself, and he's going to tell the rest of the guys to go in towards tunnels. We're setting up a B execute. Flames is going to fake like they're taking fast lower, and then Apex is actually going to flash mid, make it look like a lot of things are possible. Molotov towards Cat, and then following that up with a flash. Now from the Falcons perspective, mid doors is smoked, even though Apex missed his. Somebody called the nade police. He actually is putting pressure in towards Cat, the molly, and the flash. Falcons have no idea what's going on. They know that somebody took lower. They know that somebody mollied Cat. They know that they could be anywhere. In the meantime, we have ZywOo setting up the smokes. Here you go. You can steal this lineup if you'd like. That should be a door smoke. And after that, he's going to come in here and he's going to throw this flash through the window. You can steal that one. They're also just going to go ahead and Molotov big box as well as back plat. And that's the hit. That's all you need to do to throw the hit. You can steal that one and throw it in. And you can go in here just like Apex and you actually have a pretty valid excuse to bait because you were just in mid throwing all the util. And that's exactly what happens here. Apex is actually a pretty good fragging IGL, and he's actually going to trade out into the site here with his teammates. He's lost ZywOo, lost Flames. It doesn't matter. Apex is going to get under the window here. He needs to play the post plant correct. He gets the first one. Re-smokes the door. Really, there's nothing you could do here. Nade's good. Jumps up back plat, and Apex is going to get a 4K. So there you go. Really good round, really good map. Let's move on to Train. So now that we've established a baseline with how Vitality like to play, at least with Dust 2, we can now look at Train, where I feel like this is more of an example of how their team play is just so strong. For example, at least in this round, we have Flames in towards T-Con, and Apex is actually holding a flash for him. So if anybody were to try to take T-Con, he can get flash for and he can stop the aggression, which is exactly what's going to happen in this round. The aggression's coming in. Here's the smoke. Here's the molly. Apex throws the flash, Flames is going to get the opening. After that, he's just going to live forever. They're going to try to molly him out, but he's just going to smoke himself, and he you know, really no danger. After that, we're going to wait a little bit of time here because that's when they're going to regroup in towards T-Con, and they're just going to close the round after that. In the meantime, Rops has been putting a little bit of pressure B. As you can see, he's brought the rotates over, which we've already talked about this before. This is standard Train theory. I talked about this in the complexity game. If you're down a man on CT side, it's okay to just gamble B because if they go A, you'll just save. But if they come B, you'll win the round. And Rops is just making sure that they're not aggressing, because with that comes sometimes some aggression from upper B or lower B, and he's just kind of waiting. He's patiently waiting before he's going to go in towards Pop Dog. And from the Falcons perspective, there really isn't much to do except for wait for the hit to come in, and here it comes. The Molotovs are going to be perfect. Kixon's going to try to help m0NESY in the back of the site, but there's not much he could do. You see that little spot that ZywOo just did. It's super strong. Kixon can't really get anything done before he gets put down by ZywOo, and then m0NESY will fall victim to Mezzi, and the round is over. Overall, I really love this round. I think Apex put this one together really well. Maybe the rest of the team as well, just, you know, calling around themselves. Just a beautiful round of CS, a beautiful round of Train, but that's kind of the stuff that you're looking at when you see Vitality play. So now knowing that we've broken the money off of the previous round victory, Flames is going to come out here with the MAC-10 and just try to create a little bit of chaos, but Falcons have actually stacked in towards Ivy. That was their game plan going into the round. They were going to push Ivy, see if they could work something, but somehow Flames has just completely caught this gap into Z, and you know what? This round is just more fun than anything because they have no idea that he's here. Kixon didn't even see this. He never heard him running. And now Flames is in the back of the site. He's going to patiently wait here before, you know, the rest of the troops get over. And that's going to be the round as soon as Magis goes down right now. That's the round. And there you go. Falcons are going to save. But another instance of you have Flames who's also capable of playmaking. Now, it does look a little silly from the Falcons. Like they had nobody watching. But again, like I said, they were just going to plan this Ivy push. They are on a low buy. They have to make a gamble. And their gamble only loses to that exact play. Like you would never expect this out of spawn. You're not, the last thing you expect is Flames to be running into Z at the first thing in the round, but that's what happens. The Vitality team is very dynamic and they're able to adapt on the fly because I don't think that this was something that they planned for it, but after they showed the one T-Con round that they did where Flames was on the left side and he got flashed for, they actually let them take T-Con and make an entire strat around this, knowing that they're going to be in. As you can see, there's smoke, they know they're in there, it's very obvious. So what does Apex call for? Well, Mezzi's going to get close in towards Pop Dog, and ZywOo's going to be doing this thing where he jiggles between this side and this side here, because Rops is also baiting off of ZywOo's contact, and he's holding upper. So if somebody pushes ramp, Rops is going to kill him. If somebody pushes upper, Rops is going to kill him. If somebody pushes ladder, or flashes, ZywOo's going to get blind, or he's going to kill him, and then Mezzi will trade. No matter what, this setup is unbreakable, and the idea is they're just waiting for this. So what are they waiting for? They're waiting for the smoke to go away, because as soon as the smoke goes away, as you can see here, they're just going to retake T-Con. Flames is going to throw this molly, and Apex is not flashing for Flames. No, he's actually flashing over Pop Dog, because the idea is Flames is pushing them out and creating a distraction. Kixin is forced into the open. Look, he sees two people not looking, but it's actually worse than that, because the timing of this is exactly the same time that they're coming out Pop, and ZywOo is going to punish, and Flames is going to trade onto Nico, and just like that, you've lost the round. It's all on Testis to just sit in the back of the bomb train, but he can't, because Mezzi's looking sharp just like the rest of the team, and this round is a beautiful adaptation to the one round we already saw, and they created an entire round around this. They felt out how Falcons wanted to take T-Con, and Apex planned an entire A-pop around it. Beautiful stuff. And finally, we have one more adaptation of this strat, which is to let them take T-Con. This time they've decided not to, but the reason that they're letting them take T-Con this time isn't to pop back into them, but instead it's to walk up Ivy. They feel like there's probably a gap here since they haven't been playing there as often as other teams are, so they're going to try to creep up here. Mezzi and Apex are going to be over here throwing a little bit of utility. Rops just threw a smoke from upper B, but Testis is going to peek in front and he's going to catch them off. Obviously, that's not part of the plan, but they had a backup plan, which is that ZywOo would flash over for Flames to get active out of T-Con, and he's going to spot m0NESY opping close, and he's going to take him down. In the meantime, Rops is still lurking. He is inevitable. We know that he's here, and he's actually going to wait and time this fight. Apex has made it in towards Hell. We have people in T-Con, and Rops is also at the edge of Pop. This round is very, very tense for both teams because it's all a matter of who's going to hit their shots. And Rops is going to bait perfectly. Nico exposes that he's close right, and Rops is going to punish this. First kill is in. Now he's going to reposition his aim towards the camera smoke, catches Testis running through, and just like that, he's gotten a 2K, actually a 3K, because look at that. He's just aware of the possibility of Kixin, and he even spams down the last guy and wins the half for them. I mean, it's just so much individual power from the entire roster that you just can't ever win, even in this round. It probably feels like it slips right through your fingers if you're Falcons. If you just kill Rops at any point here, if you just kill Rops, you would have won the round. I just want to include this round on CT site just to show you that this is not necessarily just the ZywOo and Rops show. We have Flames that's crossing into Pop Dog really fast, and the idea is he's going to play this crossfire with Rops. He's baiting very much so. They're both baiting each other, trying to get a good favorable fight for one of them, and they get one here onto Magis. He's going to get this kill. Just make sure that nobody's close. Throws this flash. Remember, Magis never saw Rops, so he still has a really good position. Off this flash, they know that Nico's got to be close. Flames is going to peek out. He gets one more. Rops knows that it's time to go, so he's going to get away. He was right to do so. m0NESY would have had him. And now Flames is in trouble too because he has to reload while running away. He knows he's not going to make it out, so he's just going to stand his ground, and he gets a 3K. I mean, this is just really strong stuff. Rops did a really good job at enabling this 3K, and Mezzi's going to close out the round here. He's going to get the other two. So it's also Mezzi and also Flames as well you have to worry about. The roster is really well-rounded. Like, I know that I've been kind of harping on this the entire video, but that's the point. They're the best team in the world. They're the most dominant team we've seen in the last 10 years. Like, there's a reason for that. And for the last round here, I just really want to kind of give you an idea of how suffocating it can be because they're really good at giving you nothing to work with and always constantly applying pressure. So in this round, we have 3 people playing the triangle of death in front of this train here. Flames is just monitoring Pop early on. He's got a crazy off angle. And when the time is right, they're going to take T-Con. So in order to do that, he's going to smoke off the ladder here. That way they don't have to deal with anybody being annoying. And ZywOo is going to molly the deep left side here. They're going to get that smoke over from Apex into, or actually, sorry, ZywOo those at this time in towards deep T-Con, and now they have everything. We have Mezzi, who's just being annoying in towards Ivy, spamming around here, and once they get into T-Con, again, like I said, they're pretty established. They're not going to just be happy with this, though. They're happy to have T-Con, don't get me wrong, but they're going to actually push in towards T-Con. They see that it's clear. Now, they spot one monitoring the push, and in the meantime, they're going to be clearing out Ivy. There's just too much pressure. They spotted Tessus. They don't know that he's alone. Mezzi is now pushing by himself, sees nothing, and now they know the setup, which allows these rotates to come in. You see Apex now knows that it's going to be B. Robs has a second op. He's holding the ramp. Apex gets the kill. It's just too much pressure. They have too much info on you at any given time. It feels like you're always walking into a stack, and it's really hard. Like, if you know that they're pushing Ivy, and you know they're pushing T-Con, you know they're putting pressure ladder, and you know that they're pushing B at some point in the round, where do you hold? Well, you hold for the pushes, but eventually you have to go out, and they always have the right read on you, is what I'm getting at. They always have a really good understanding of what's happening in the round, and it's because they have so many active players that can make the right decision, and they have an IGL who can coordinate the end rounds. And he does it really well. It's so much fun to watch this team play. Moving on to Nuke, which is the 5th map in this best of 5, actually both of them that they played this last week. And this round, let me set the stage for you, is a lost, or 1 pistol lost 4 spy rounds, so they have almost no money here, and they have a hero AK on ZywOo. Now, remember what we talked about at the beginning? We have Rops on the other side of the map. He's probably, actually no, he is the best lobby lurk in the world, very proficient in this position, and we'll talk about him a lot in these upcoming rounds. But in this round, the strat is pretty simple. ZywOo go kill. They're going to be baiting around outside, just trying to give ZywOo anything that they can give, and he's playing this off angle. NiKo, not expecting from his perspective, he would never expect a single, and he's going to get punished. That's an early kill. Now, we know that it's probably the majority outside because it is a 4 spy round. There was outside smokes already. ZywOo was making noise now, trying to fake like they've gone back. A second set of outside smokes was prioritized, so now they can go in towards secret. Now, because they can go down secret and NiKo cannot stop this, there's only one play for Falcons to make. It's to crunch lobby, try to get it into a 4v4, and then they can play the round out after that. Problem is that you're playing against the best lobby lurk in the world, and trying to find him is playing the hardest game of hide and seek. And it's also very dangerous because if you peek the wrong corner, you're dead immediately. Like, he gives you nothing to work with. And that's exactly what happens to Kixin. He's going to go down. Now it's a 5v3. You feel the round slipping away, and the bomb is going to get planted in towards lower. Now we know that in order to win this round, we're going to have to find this kill onto Rops. We have to find him because then it's a 4v3 and we can have that conversation, or we at least have to find him to save. Rops is going to make himself very hard to kill, and as a matter of fact, Anyway, so that's the round. That's what you have to worry about when you're playing against the lobby lurk that's Rops. And remember, I talked about this dynamic on Dust 2. You always have to worry about what Rops is doing as well. You can have ZywOo and the rest of the team go outside and create a bunch of chaos and win as many fights as they possibly can, and you just have Rops to sit here in lobby and disrupt. They can comfortably have one-person lobby in the majority of rounds and know that Rops is going to get it done. In this particular round, they're going down fast secret. And why is that strong? Well, they want to rotate down the vent, and they know that they want to rotate down the vent. They could also sneak in towards Mini with those smokes. I could even show you right now that there's a possibility they could walk through Mini and do an A split. They have set up the smokes to where that this is possible. They have to be careful. There's a vent lurk smoke. They can't even go down the vent safely because Rops could be in the vent. There's so many things that are going on right now that are disrupting the rotates. Magisk has to look here. You have to look at the vent lurk smoke. What if Rops walks through it? What if Rops goes ramp? We can't rotate down the ramp because what if Rops walks out ramp? You see, that's the problem because you always know you're dealing against him. And the last thing that you expect is for him to just go, you know what, actually, I think I'm just going to walk out here and kill Kixin. Oh, okay. And now look at this. He's disrupted the rotates. Now nobody's rotating down because they're like, oh, well, Rops just walked out hut and now everybody's quiet. Is there more people in lobby? We don't even know because we don't have the info. Rops just walked out. He would never do that if he was by himself, right? No, he would. And now look, you have nothing you can do. The hit is going to be way too strong. They only have 2 people rotated down. And even though Tessus does get the first one, there's not really any trade potential. And that's it. That's a perfect round for Vitality. And it's really reliant off of Rops being so disruptive. And if I could pick one round to showcase to you why Vitality is such a good team, it would be this one. Across every map that I've watched, I watched 10 demos to do this review for both of the best of 5s that they played. This is the one round that I think summarizes Vitality best. Oh, so what we have is we have Apex going down secret. He's got some backup from Flames. He's actually going to go down. It's a 4v5, pretty standard. Flames is going to get tagged up heavy. And now the mid round is going to be that they need to end into A. They have no choice. Rops has already lurked out the vent. This is part of the lobby lurk stuff. He's just gotten to the vent. He could go down, but he's also just being obnoxious, a thorn in their side right now. He's got out the vent, and they're going to play off of this. Rops sees the smoke coming in from the back of Silo, and he knows that one person's back Silo. So he's going to tell his teammates when they come out to look for back Silo, and don't worry about top hut, because Rops has been holding this for quite some time. He's pretty confident that if somebody was top hut, they probably would have came and checked this by now. So that's exactly what's going to happen. They're going to start walking out. He's going to wait, and he's going to time this perfectly. Now he's creeping out. He's going to, again, just play off of them, play off of their timing. You see, Mezzi's now looking, having a look. He's checked top hut. Now Rops knows knows for sure nobody's top hut, and he's going to take this timing to peek out, and he catches kicks in. Now Magisk is all alone in the back of the site here, and he's actually not going to do a terrible job. He's going to get this kill onto Mezzi, gets a tiny bit of damage onto ZywOo before he goes down. Again, ZywOo is baiting Mezzi on purpose, because Mezzi could get the kill, but ZywOo will get the trade. Now we need to get the bomb down, and ZywOo and Rops are still alive. Flames is just trying to do the most he can here. We get a molly in towards heaven. Flames is just monitoring, making sure that his carries don't get taken down, and Rops is going to be aware of the possibility of that ramp flank. Remember, Rops is a ramp player. He knows that it's very likely that if they're playing against an active ramp player, they could already be lobby. So he's just waiting, monitoring the push. Now, they probably don't expect all three here, which is going to come as a surprise to Flames any second now. We get that flash from ZywOo. It's going to catch Tessus. He made a sound cue, so they know they're there. Rops is going to get the first kill. Is really strong. You see how he's managing all of these angles, he's managing the fights, he's doing such a good job at playing around his teammates. Now, ZywOo, again, he's going to sit here, they're trying to spam in towards Rops, they still don't know that m0NESY is there as well. ZywOo's just going to confidently stand in front here, he's going to get the first kill, m0NESY goes down as well. In this round, ZywOo and Rops get 3 and 2 kills respectively, and they win the round even though they had no business winning it. And it's just because the mid round was so strong, the info was so strong, and the team play was actually perfect. And the people who were set up to get the kills did not miss. This is Vitality in a nutshell. Now to wrap things up, I want to cover 2 more rounds on CT side that kind of paint the picture of how difficult it is to play against Vitality on Nuke. So we know that ZywOo is your outside player, and we know that Rops is going to be your ramp player. So it gives us that same feeling of where are we supposed to go? Do we go ramp versus Rops, who we know will get 2 or at least live forever? Or do we go outside versus ZywOo and Apex, who I've already covered in a demo review before. If you want to click the top right, and you can watch that video after this one, how ZywOo and Apex dominate outside. We could go versus that. Or we could try to exploit A players, which is Mezzi and Flames, who are very strong together, and they play a lot together because, like I said, if we go back to the Dust 2, they're together quite a bit. On CT sides, they know what they're doing, you know what I mean? So we could play versus them, who have probably some of the best team chemistry. Not easy. So they're going to go down towards Secret. They've gotten the kill onto Apex, and now they've rotated down. But unfortunately for them, Flames has already made it down. He's going to find Nico. He's going to pick up his AK. Now he spots Kixin. He gets the second one. Again, this is very overwhelming. Where do you go? Because it doesn't matter where you go. Everybody's killing you. Nobody's missing. Even Flames is farming you. And after some time of waiting around, they are forced to come in towards B, and Flames is just going to be up in the Raptors, being annoying as always. And yeah, he's just gonna drop down here, gets that kill with that self flash, and look at how beautiful this is. I mean, like, you just can't get away. Where are you supposed to go? Where do you go? You gotta get away from them. And for the final round of this game, you again feel like you have nothing that you can do. If you go lower, now Rops is here, because that's an adaptation that they make. They have nobody in ramp right now. They fully gambled off of it, because Rops knows that they have not been testing him, so he can do whatever he wants. ZywOo's gonna be aware of that possibility, but it's not likely, because they threw outside smokes and they feel like the A hit is coming in. So what do we have? We have Flames is going to get flashed in mini, but Apex is going to get the trade. You think that this is a good start. We've split Rops and ZywOo. We think that ZywOo is somewhere, Rops is ramp guaranteed, and we know that A is weak. We got the trade that we needed. Now all we have to do is kill Mezzi, and we should have a... Oh, I see. There's really nothing you can do. There's a reason Vitality is the best team in the world right now, and it's not just ZywOo. And if you guys did enjoy this video and this demo review, please let me know in the comments below. Leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you guys want to see next and who you guys want me to review. With that being said, I enjoyed covering this one quite a bit, and a video that I was considering doing was the comeback that they did on Nuke and Melbourne, but I didn't want to include that one since this was a more recent result and it was more impressive to have a 5th event in a row. But if you guys want to see a video on that comeback, let me know in the comments below. I'll still happily cover that. But with that being said, I appreciate you guys once again. Much love as always, and I'll see you guys very, very soon.